Hi, everyone. Welcome to my second show. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Thank you for tuning in to Lose Your Mind with Logan. Oopsies. So, so my two special guests today are two of some of my favorite people. To my right, I have my roommate, one of my close friends ever since freshman year, the Miss Melissa Palizzi.
My hat hit the microphone. It's all good.
Melissa, tell us what you do on campus, like across campus.
Oof, I do a lot. Okay. I am the president of FMLA, which is Feminist Majority Leadership Alliance. So that's kind of in the name. I'm also president of Demons Support Demons, which it's the It's on Us group on campus. So we advocate for survivors of sexual assault. And I'm also on the Forum Council for Louisiana Scholars College, which I'm the vice president, and you are the president. Hello.
Heck yeah. And to my left, I have the fantastic Ashley Wistow.
Woo!
Ashley, are you and your sister doing your show this semester?
Yeah, it's later on today.
Ooh, tell me about it.
It's going to be at 2 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
and it is Conspiracy Theories with the Twisted Sisters. We brought it back for the second semester.
Yeah.
And we just talk about conspiracy theories, and we play some dope music. So.
Heck yeah. I love it. I love it.
Can I snap into the microphone?
Yes.
It's not working. There we go.
There you go. So last week we had a lot of fun. We started off something a little serious, and we kind of like devolved from there into some good times. And so today I actually have like two like topics, stories, and whatnot that I kind of want to talk about. So, not to like make it real sad at first, but you gotta get the sad stuff out of the way to get to the fun stuff. So the first thing I want to talk about is, have either of you heard about the incident that happened in Alaska recently? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I figured that you two would find this.
You gotta maybe.
Depends,
yeah.
Okay, so so hold on, I'm putting on the headphones. So what ended up happening was there was this just like Indian woman, and she's like walking on the side of the road. I don't know if she's like coming from work or something. Like I didn't really get details about that part, but she is just walking across the road, and this guy comes and like picks her up and is like, hey, like, where do you need to go? I'm going to like take you there instead of you walking. Right. Mm-hmm. Which, initially seems like a very nice gesture. Right.
Mm-hmm. Knowing Alaska, it's not, but yeah.
Knowing men, it's not.
I was going to say, Ashley is from the wonderful cold land of Alaska, so she would have more insight onto that than most people. So this man does not take her to where she wants to go, as these stories tend to go. He pulls her out of the car, and like they're at like this dead end, and he pulls her out of the car and proceeds to like choke her onto the ground to the point where she like is like about to pass out. She thinks she's gonna like die, like like she thinks this is it, like this is the end of her life. And then the guy like stops, and she's like blacking in and out, like she can't really see, and the guy proceeds to quote unquote finish on her. And then he like looks at her and goes, sorry, I needed you to feel like you were actually going to have your life threatened for me to be fulfilled in my endeavors and desires. So and then the best part is, so the woman reports it, and like she gets like a restraining order, and they get like brought to whatchamacallit. They get brought to court. That's what it's called. Yeah. The court, the basketball court, right? So they get brought to court, and somehow they like got him off on like a plea deal where he doesn't have to go to jail.
Yeah, okay, so Courtney was telling me about this, my older sister, yeah.
Yeah, because he either faced, because he had, like, kidnapping, like, public indecency, like, sexual assault, like, a bunch of different really hardcore charges, and so he faced either from 5 years to 90 years in jail. And he ended up getting like a plea deal because they were saying that like the most heinous of the crimes was kidnapping. They couldn't technically prove it because the woman technically agreed to get in the car even if he didn't take her where she said she wanted to go. And like, so he got off on a plea deal of just like community service and like some classes and stuff. So I just kind of wanted to like bring that up and like discuss it. I know it's a lot. I just like, to me, this is reminiscent of that one guy at like, I think it was like a football player that happened at like the like some fancy college where
Brock
like
Turner.
yeah, him
He's
where
the Stanford swimmer.
yeah, where he
You mean the
like
Stanford rapist?
yeah, where he ended up like getting off for like
It was like 6 months, and then he got out in good time on 3 months.
yeah, and his dad was like, he's a good kid, he's a good man.
Obviously not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of his court testifying was just people coming and be like, oh, he's my friend. And he's a good person. Obviously not. Almost just cursed. I didn't.
Yeah, right.
Bless up.
And I'm proud of you for containing yourself. But no, what's crazy too is that like these people and their incidents are going to like increase, right? Because they feel like they can get away with it because like
Yeah.
they've done it once. They went to like the legal like judicial system and then they got away with it. So like that like mentality, I feel like promotes this idea of like, wow, I can continuously do it and get away with it.
Yeah. Especially if Brett Kavanaugh gets elected to the Supreme Court. Like, it's going to teach people I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like
And he
how
gets
Trump
to
got
decide.
elected. Yeah.
Yeah. And he gets to decide on people's bodies.
Yeah.
So,
The wonders. I just get really frustrated too because like apparently the judge or someone, like I think it was the judge for that court in Alaska, is being reelected in the midterms. And I'm just like, Alaska,
Do better.
make the right decision.
They have not made the right decision for a while. Like, their crime rate has gone up significantly, especially since like I moved. Like, they had the most murders in the state like just recently, and it was like over 50 murders, like in the city of Anchorage.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And like
Holy
like
crap.
everyone thinks like, you think that's like not a lot, but Alaska's like the least one of the least populated states.
Yeah.
So it's like,
so 50 is a lot in
Yeah.
comparison, like proportionally to
Yeah.
the actual population. I don't even know how people do that because like when I get cold, I get real sleepy and I want to go home and take a nap.
and these people are like vicious. Like, one person just like, there's these 4 guys went up to a house and like knocked on the door, and this woman answered, and they just shot her
oh my
like
gosh.
point blank and robbed her.
Did they like
Fun
know?
fact, one of the guys I used to have a crush on in middle school. Yeah.
You had
Oh,
a crush
no.
on a murderer.
Yeah. At
How
the
did-
time, I didn't know he was a murderer. I'll say that.
How did you feel about it?
You know, I wasn't surprised. Looking back on it, looking back on 8th grade Ashley, wasn't surprised by her choices.
You're like, look, she made some bad decisions,
Yeah.
and this is just one of them.
Yeah.
But you know what? You're better now.
Thanks.
You're better now.
Yeah.
You know not to like have crushes on murderers.
Yeah. Good rule of thumb for everyone.
Yeah, right. Just in case you didn't realize, maybe you should not be romantically involved with someone who
Is bad.
who is, you know, like not evil, but like a little evil.
I'm gonna say that was pretty evil.
I mean,
because like they
you
just like
know.
robbed
Yeah.
and then left the woman there to die. Like you know.
if it was an old lady, I swear, if it was an old lady,
No, I think it's like a middle age, like 40-year-old woman.
It makes me think of like American Horror Story first season when everybody was like, oh, I love Tate. And I was like, he's supposed to be like
Oh my
a
god.
concubine school
Why-
shooter. Why are we romanticizing him?
Why
People
did
were
they-
like, oh, biggest crush.
yeah,
No, and then they romanticized his relationship with the Violet. Was that her name at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm
I
like,
think maybe.
he raped her mother,
And was also a ghost.
and also was the making of the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a lot.
But they like romanticize like anything and everything.
No, yeah,
They
like
also like, you know, like the internet cannot have like just 2 like guy friends like be cool without making them like gay. You know, that's a thing.
mhm.
And like I'm all for representation. However, like all forms of representation.
Right.
You know?
Oh my god. And like and I know that there was a thing, as my friend is proceeding to text me about, because he's like, you should talk about this. And I'm like, this is actually a really good topic. But you remember that one guy who was like a school shooter, and trigger warnings, everyone, just in case. I totally forgot to say that, but oops. Like, he he did that, and because he was hot, like, everyone wasn't, like, treating him the same as if it was, like, a non-hot person. And, like, all these, I remember seeing on Twitter, all these girls were like, oh, he could shoot me up any day.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. I'm like, how about
We don't.
we don't, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, and like,
Charles Manson used to always get love letters when he was in prison.
yeah,
Like,
which is
people were, like,
crazy.
people fetishize these murderers. It's really gross.
I know.
What is the obsession with serial killers?
Well, that's like I think it comes from the same place of like women who are like, oh my god, who like the fantasy of like being sexually assaulted and like quote unquote like raped.
I don't even think it's that. It's just like, I think it's just like they're like, oh, I'm weird. I'm different.
Yeah,
I'm so edgy.
What's the
you know?
obsession with being edgy, like a
Yeah.
hipster and weird? And I'm very confused. I'll tell you that.
You know, that's like, I mean, that's just like in middle school when everyone's like, oh my god, I'm bisexual. At least they had it at my
Didn't
school.
have that at my school.
No, everyone at my school, because we came from a very small, very small rural town in the Hicks, and I guess nobody has ever seen a gay person before besides like me, and they're like, I want to feel different and different from these Hicks, so like, I'm bisexual now, and I'm like, no. I was like, you are just saying that to be different. No offense, but like, full offense, right? And it really frustrated me because I didn't say that then, because I was like, oh, okay. But the moment we got to high school, they immediately were like, oh, that was just a phase. And I'm just like, wow, you sure it was a phase, or were you just like lying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my gosh. And so, I don't know. I just think that's just nuts to me. That's like actually nuts. We need to have a support group for that. For women who romanticize murderers of all
And now
kinds.
they're making that new movie about Ted Bundy, in which Zac Efron is going to play Ted Bundy. Like, I'm aware Ted Bundy, that's how he operated, because he was attractive and people were more likely to trust him because he was attractive. And that's how he was able to kidnap so many women. But like, let's not romanticize him by making Zac Efron play him in
of all
a movie.
people, of
Like,
all
people are gonna be like,
people.
oh,
We
I
could-
love him now. Like, I sympathize.
we
It's Zac
could-
Efron.
We could at least do like Matthew McConaughey, who was in that one. Like, every time he's in a movie, he like really like changes his body to like fit the role and stuff. There was that one movie where he like starved himself and he looked like
Yeah.
a legit
Oh,
crack
yeah.
addict.
That's probably because I think he played
He had
cracker.
AIDS.
Oh yeah, it had AIDS. That's what it was.
Or something like that, and he looked real like deprived, and I respected that, you know, because that's like is some commitment.
I just say let's not make a movie about Ted Bundy.
No, yeah, oh yeah,
Like, why are we making these people famous? Like, this is
Yeah.
what they wanted, you know?
Yeah,
That's why you get copycats. That's why you get more serial killers, because
Yeah.
they're like, everybody knows Ted Bundy's name.
yeah. And what's crazy to me is that like a lot of news reporters, like news sites, when they talk about these like different like shootings and stuff, they'll like show the face of them and give them like the notoriety that like populates others, you know.
But only if they're white.
Yep.
Yep.
Like, don't show their faces. Don't say their names. Just focus on the victims.
Yeah.
That'll, one, get them very angry and will not have copycats.
Right. Which is crazy to me. And so, like, the next thing I wanted to talk about, which is something that's, like, really recent, like, as of, like, today. It's not, like, anything as bad as that, but do either of you have any of you watched, like, the Shane Dawson, like, documentaries on different people?
No.
Okay, so Shane Dawson...
Sorry, I'm not cool.
Oh, no. Like, so Shane Dawson, who is, like, you know, YouTube,
Right.
old school...
Yeah.
has recently started doing a bunch of documentaries. And, like, the first one he did was about TanaCon, about how that all, like, went ridiculous and everything. And it was just, oh, my gosh. And, like, I don't even know how to explain it. So he did that, and then he's done one on Jeffree Star and talked about like all the problematic things he said and tried to like get in like and talk about him. Like he's like went up to him and talked about it and stuff. It was really good, and it gave me a lot of insight on like Jeffree's stuff. And I love like his makeup tutorials and stuff, but I knew that he wasn't like the best person, so I never like bought any of his products. But like after that, it made me feel like just like I don't know, just made me feel like really uncomfortable just because like I don't know, I don't know, Jeffrey just makes me kind of uncomfortable sometimes. Also like he's just like really rich and really likes to show off that he's rich. And I'm just like, girl, he has a pink custom like I don't even know, like a really, really expensive car. And it just has all these like automatic opening doors. It goes vroom vroom, like real loud and stuff. I don't know anything about cars.
That was real descriptive.
Yeah, right. But no,
me mom's car.
So like
Talk to me car.
vroom, vroom. That's just like. But then like his most recent one that he's doing is about Jake Paul.
Ugh.
And like all the things he's doing, and it makes me uncomfortable because the first thing he says is he's like trying to talk about is he wants to see if Jake Paul is like a sociopath, right? And so he's like, we're gonna go to like a licensed therapist or like psychiatrist or whatever. He says therapist, which I'm like, okay. And we're gonna go and ask her and like see like what the symptoms are, like what constitutes, you know, like antisocial personality disorder and stuff. So in the second episode, they go, and that's the only one that's done or that's been posted. The first and second one, it's gonna be like an 8-part series, and each one's like an hour. And I'm like, Lord. I don't know if I have
the time.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know if I have the time to watch 8 hours
Who has the
worth.
commitment for that?
I was like, I don't care about Jake Paul that much, right?
No.
And so,
And people shouldn't.
yeah, like if again, giving him attention makes it worse. So he goes and he talks to this therapist, and she like says a lot of problematic stuff. So, and I thought that it'd be interesting as, you know, me and Melissa being psych majors, and Ashley, you being really in tune with like mental illness, and both of you doing like social justice based stuff. I just thought like, cause she says things like, she like, I don't even explain it. Like she pulls out, I'm assuming the DSM-5. She has like a book in front of her,
Right.
and starts like reading off the different symptoms, right? And she does it in a way where like she uses like really problematic language where she basically implies that every single symptom makes Jake Paul like a murderer, and like, and she keeps saying things. She's like, oh, it's yucky and stuff. And like when they're talking about it, like, I don't know, they're both being really dramatic and being like, oof, I feel this like yucky feeling in my heart. And so, and then like Shane was like, how can you tell, like, what's like the prevalence? Like how can you like immediately tell in like real life situations? She's like, well, it's like 1 in 25 people have like antisocial personality disorder, which I was like, that does not sound correct.
No.
I was like, that is very, like a very,
It's like 1 to 2% of the population.
yeah, I was like, that is not correct at all. And then she says like, when you meet one, you can feel it. You can like feel it in your heart. And I was like, are we sure about that?
Also, like, how many of the people that like are serial killers and kill are sociopaths, and how many sociopaths kill people first off, or like, you know, that kind of thing, because like they're like sitting there and they're like, oh, this is a yucky feeling. And it just goes back to like the talking about mental health and the stigma around it.
Yeah.
Because blaming someone's behavior on mental health is not okay.
Yeah.
And
it's
like,
not a pass.
Yeah.
You know?
For one, like, sociopath isn't even really a psychological term. It's more of a legal term.
Just like psychopath as well.
Those are both legal terms. It's antisocial personality disorder.
Yeah.
Which people have, and they're not murderers. They just don't have the same conscience that we do, but they can learn like how society works, and maybe they don't have that like empathy that we have, but they still can understand right from wrong.
Oh no, she was saying like, oh, they wear a mask, like they don't respect anything, like they don't feel empathy, and she was saying like, all these people do is for power and manipulation. And she just really demonized anyone who had it. And I just sat there and I was like, this is not everyone who does this or who has this like personality disorder does this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Just because empathy isn't innate in them doesn't mean it can't be learned.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. And then so like they were talking about like, what if they're married and stuff? Like how does that work out? Like, what if they're married? Do they actually love that person? And she was like, no.
They're capable of love.
No, yeah. She was like, no, they.
What's with the generalization? You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, apparently she's like a licensed like therapist. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, girl, you are the issue. Like,
well, therapists aren't supposed to be the ones that diagnose people in the first place.
yeah. And
they don't have that
ability.
They
like
don't have that for very good reason, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. And it had me so upset because I was sitting there and I'm like, as someone who's supposed to be like a figure in the mental health realm and supposed to help people.
Yeah.
Like, what if someone came to you, which I will admit, they most likely would not like come in unless they were very aware of the way that their consciousness and like view of the world is very different from the people around them, right?
Right. I said it's only 1 to 2%, but that's only because with
That's
personality disorders in general, people don't go
Right.
to seek help because
So
it's so embedded in their personality they don't understand it to be an
Different,
issue. Like
yeah.
it's not seen as a mental illness like depression or something would be because it's just embedded in their personality. So usually personality disorders only get identified when they're forced to go to therapy, which is usually from doing something illegal. So that's why we have this association with like criminals, murderers, with antisocial personality disorder, because most of the ones we have diagnosed are serial killers, but that's only because people don't go and seek treatment for it. So most people are undiagnosed.
Right. And
So,
oh, my bad.
oh, sorry. What's the difference between a personality disorder and like depression? Or is that mental illness?
Depression is a mood disorder.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
Personality disorders are like, I don't know, they're like more general and they like, I don't know.
There's just different
yeah.
classes of disorder,
Okay.
Yeah.
mental disorders, and personality disorders is one of them, and that would be like antisocial, which is what we're discussing. There's
That'd be like borderline personality.
borderline
Dissociative personality disorder. Is
No,
that the one?
That's
No.
not a personality disorder.
No, I thought it was.
DID, dissociative
Oh,
identity
yeah,
disorder.
yeah.
No, that's not a person.
Is that a mental illness one?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
it's
okay.
just not a.
I'm trying to think. There's others. There's
there's like hyper stuff like that.
like
but
narcissism.
yes,
Like narcissistic personality disorder. The one that's like that came out of the hysteria for like women and stuff.
Yeah, it starts with an H. I just don't.
Yeah,
remember.
I don't remember either. But like, I don't know. It just really frustrated me because I don't know. I just sat there and like, I will say a lot of people in the comments were being really negative towards her, being just like, I can't believe you would use this language. Like, this is not correct. Like, I can't believe that you would perpetuate this idea of mental illness. And what frustrated me too is that Shane has experienced mental illness. Like, he has experienced it. He's experienced like body dysmorphia or dysphoria, and like, I just sat there and I was like, as someone who's experienced mental illness, you were like encouraging this type of language and this perception. And what frustrated me too is that she was like, I can feel it. Like, you can feel when you meet one. And I was like, no, you can't. That's like me.
It also gives a defeatist attitude. And for
Yeah.
a therapist to have that is really like discouraging, because as someone who like has a mood disorder, and I imagine it's just, I can't speak on personality, but like, it's really easy to get stuck on a diagnosis and to get stuck as like, this thing controls me.
Yeah.
And like, because that's what society tells us to. So for like your therapist or like the people closest to you just have that defeatist attitude, it's like really like frustrating.
And it's like really debilitating because it's like because like they keep pounding that idea into you, and it's so hard to kind of get out of that like mental cage of thought.
Yeah. Especially because, like I said, personality disorders are so embedded within you. They're really hard to work through, like more so than mood disorders and
Yeah,
such.
for sure.
And so if you go in with the therapist not saying like, oh, this is going to be a lot of hard work, and sometimes it's not going to feel like you're making much progress, but like I promise that this is going to work. If you're not getting a therapist with that type of attitude, you know, you're going to feel like there's no point.
Yeah.
that you're never going to be different.
Exactly. And what sucks too is that like mood disorders, you at least can take like medicine to
Right.
help kind of like lessen the symptoms and kind of like help rebalance like the hormones in your body. But like personality disorders, like it's not from an imbalance. Like it usually comes from some form of trauma or
Right.
like some form of major event in your life. And like you can't like cure that. You know, you can try to like you can cure it maybe in the essence of like going to therapists and getting better control.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I feel like there's always still hints of it, if that makes any sense.
Right. I mean, that's with all mental disorders.
Yeah.
So none of them can be cured.
Cured, you know, and it just like, you know, I don't know. That's just super frustrating because I saw that and I was just like, are you actually serious right now?
Yeah.
But
I mean, I don't know much. I never was like big into YouTubers and stuff like that. But wasn't Shane Dawson always like problematic as well? I remember that being like a thing where people hated him.
I personally don't know because I watched him when I was like in middle school and then I stopped watching him because I was like, wow, this is dumb.
I feel like he used to make like really like homophobic and
Oh no,
racist
he
remarks.
did. And then he like had that like Bong Kui character who was like
Yeah.
essentially like a stereotype of black woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And I think did he do blackface? I feel like
no, I don't think he did. He
Okay.
instead did like he had like this dirty wig
Yeah.
and did this like real exaggerated thing like with his eyebrows and stuff. And
Yeah.
it just like
That's gross.
That was when I was in middle school. When we were in middle school. 'Cause we were,
yeah, it was like
And
forever
then, like,
ago.
Okay, so I always thought he was like not straight, but apparently he wasn't, and that shocked me because he used to be straight and would make homophobic comments, but now he's dating a man. So I guess
He vehemently defended his straightness.
Yeah.
And that's like very common though, I think on YouTube. Like Connor Franta, who is like a very prevalent gay YouTuber. He has like a video before he came out of him like vehemently like defending his heterosexuality and being like, I'm not gay, like I don't like men, like blah 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 blah. And then like a year later he's like, I'm gay. And it's just like, and it's really frustrating because like it sucks because I feel like a lot of people in the like YouTube space really kind of like bully them in that way. And I don't know, it's just so frustrating just because like they like, I don't know. It's just super frustrating because they keep like pounding the idea that like you're gay in the comments, right? And like, I don't know. I just have an issue with that because I'm like, you don't know. Like they're like one of my good friends from high school, Shelby. Like her fiance thought for a long time that he was gay because everyone just kept telling him he acts gay, right? And then like when he got to college, like he started kind of like experimenting with women and like dating them and being more physically intimate with them. And now he kind of identifies as bisexual. And like,
Right.
you know, him and Shelby
Yeah.
have a really great relationship, you know, and it's just super frustrating because I'm just like, just because you're like feminine and like more
Yeah.
like flamboyant in that way doesn't like reflect your sexuality in that manner,
Right.
you know, and it's just super frustrating because like that comes from like stereotypes and like the media. And like in movies, like you were saying, like there can't be two male characters in shows
Yeah.
that are like buds without one of them being like like homosexual and have like romantic feelings, or them being
Or,
gay
like,
by themselves.
Yeah, or like the fans making it into something.
Yeah.
And like that's super frustrating because like
Why can't they be buds?
yeah, and like also like characters to be of the same different gender and like not be able to be friends even though like they could
Yeah.
be into each other because like you know they're either straight or bi or whatever, and it's like okay, this is frustrating because then it seeps out into like real world. Like people like to think that TV or like media and stuff like that doesn't influence how we feel as people, but that's not true. Because like I don't know, we talked about it in social justice yesterday, and how like kids, I was like in 5th grade, 6th grade, kids were watching like Family Guy and like South Park, and like nobody saw anything wrong because it was just a TV show.
Right.
But then they carry that behavior out because they tell those jokes and they think it's okay, kind of thing.
And like I think this even goes like something, as someone who has like played games for a long time, like that's something I've also had to like struggle with too, is that like I don't know, like if you play game, like my mom was so against me ever playing like a violent video game because like they've had all these studies that's like kids who play violent video games grow up to be like murderers and like school shooters and tend to be more violent. And I'm like, no, they don't usually. Like,
if that was true, we'd have majority of people being murderers.
yeah, and exactly. And that's my thing. Like, I don't like I think it's different for video games because video games, like, people perceive it differently than they do like real life media because like because it's like I am a lizard man and I'm shooting other lizard men, right? And
or like Halo where it's like
aliens.
Yeah, that's what it was.
You know, what are the small green men?
Yeah.
You know, like they actually look like turtles, strangely
like
enough.
video games like
it's just super weird.
Yeah.
I love one of them that's like this small, like very small child, like purple turtle that has like it just or like a beetle mixed with a turtle. It's very strange.
and like those are games.
Yeah.
You know.
And then, you know, there could be an argument made that like what about Call of Duty and the like Medal of Honor games, which are like supposed to be like historical or like more in the realm of like realistic.
Does anyone even play Call of Duty anymore?
Yeah.
Doesn't like the military fund those
thing?
games?
Do they?
Okay, let me rephrase the question.
I don't think so.
I've heard that the military like funds those types of like military-esque games to make people want to go into
That's
the military
crazy.
later.
I'd believe it though.
I would believe it, but I also think that they've gone to like a point where games are getting a little like I don't know. I would believe that, but I think it used to be for Medal of Honor, which was more historically based versus Call of Duty, which is just like craziness.
Yeah, can I rephrase my question?
Yes.
Does anyone who does not have a neck beard or drink Mountain Dew play Call of Duty anymore? Because I think that the people who play Call of Duty just don't leave the basement. I know that's a very bad generalization.
That is a very bad generalization.
But that's what I feel in my bones.
Oh my god.
And maybe I just have bad experiences with people who also play Call of Duty and that like is not correlated at all.
Right.
But I don't understand those games. I really don't.
I personally don't, just because to me, I like kind of like content like that's like a little more engaging than that.
Like what about strategy games? That's not a strategy game.
I like sit there and I'm like, why would I want to escape from my life and play a game that's like supposed to be a representative of real life?
Right. That's boring.
Yeah, like, you know, there's even games that are like in the same genre because they're like first person shooters that are like Destiny.
I hate those games. I'm bad at them. No. I'm so bad at them.
But see, I'm
bad at all video games. They used to suggest to fix my lazy eye to play video games. And I was like, this is stupid. I'm done. I'm tired of seeing the screen red.
Can we make a GoFundMe to help fix Ashley's lazy eye?
It costs about like $1,800.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
How do you fix that?
They go in.
You can fix it.
Yeah.
They go in and like they just pull the muscle and like I don't know.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
Ashley.
I should wear
glasses,
and I have them, but they don't work for my eyes, so I need to go to the doctor. But like that's super. Not expensive because it is expensive. I have like Medicaid or whatever, but finding the time to do it, and in Natchitoches.
Mm-hmm. Do you know like your prescription? Like, do you know like?
No, because I haven't gone in long enough to where it's like outdated. You know?
Because I was gonna say if you go and get that, like, there's this wonderful website I use called Zenny Optics where you can get like they do your prescription in the glass, but the only thing you pay for is the frame, and it's real cheap. Like, it's real cheap. Like, the little black ones I have, I like got them for like $50, like $50-$75, and they're great quality. I love them so much.
Bet y'all didn't know this radio show was sponsored.
Yeah, right. Ooh, Zenny Optics, please give me some PR and give me some frames, please, that I can try on, please. And I'm so mad because I had a cuter version of the blue one, or the black ones I had that were blue, and after my larger ex-boyfriend decided to sit on them and break them, I was so mad.
Were they also on your face at the time?
No.
Okay.
I wish, but no. I was I was also very frustrated because I was just like, I was also getting to the point where I was ready to just like break up with him, and he's the only person I've ever broken up with because I was going to like here, and also he's just really annoying, and I was just like,
what if he's listening?
Oh no, he doesn't. I don't think he has the ability to handle technology.
Oh.
Like, he literally is like, he has a tattoo on his hand. He like works at a donut shop and he's real proud of it. Like, he dropped out of high school. I'm just like,
Maybe he's a good person on the inside. Yeah. Okay.
Sure. Sure.
Maybe he changed. Yeah.
I mean, I followed him on Instagram and like, I'm quite okay. Like, I am very much okay without seeing him. He also like does this thing where he like will be like that like type of ho boy where he'll like raise his shirt halfway and be like, look at me, and I'm like, okay.
I thought you said hobo at first.
No, I can't say the other word, so I'm gonna call him a ho boy. You know.
Oh.
But
okay.
It's the PG-13 version of the word, and it just really, I was so mad when he saddled them. I was like, if I did not have to rely on you to like drive me around in this place, because it was like, I think I was in Lafayette visiting him when he like moved.
First mistake.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, look, I shouldn't have not have drove my friggin' self down there to go see you. Second of all, when he did that, I was like, my car is at his place because he knew some places in Lafayette, and I let him drive. Whew, but if I could have left in that moment, I would have. And then I made up an excuse and totally left. I was like, my mom is getting her left kneecap replaced. I need to, go home.
And he believed you?
Yeah.
That says a lot. Because
he's dumb.
Okay.
He's very dumb.
I'm not going to say. I don't know him well.
No, he's dumb.
You don't know him at all.
Well, I know him a little bit from this conversation.
Yeah, right.
I have his number from this conversation.
Oh, my God. You're like, I have an insight into your personality.
Yeah.
You're a sociopath.
Oh, my God.
Oh my gosh.
I just had a feeling.
I had a feeling in my heart that you were just like the Antichrist, right? You were literally like the embodiment of evil on this planet.
I keep hitting this microphone with my hat.
Listen, but it's a great hat.
I'm gonna put it on backwards.
Ooh, she turned into a skater woman now. Oof. I always thought Melissa could learn how to skateboard.
I can't. I'm very uncoordinated. I don't even know how to ride a bike.
Are you serious?
Yeah, our dad never taught her.
Or that I can. Ride
Your dad never taught you?
No. My dad tried to teach me, and he pushed me, and I fell my butt in a friggin' ditch.
Well, I mean, like, my dad wasn't the greatest, but I mean, at least he taught me how to ride a bike.
My parents tried to teach me for like a week, and they gave up. They were like, she can't do it. And then they just gave up.
Parents.
I don't understand people who are like, I can go and like talk on the phone and have like a bag of groceries while I'm like pedaling with no hands on the bars. I'm like, girl, I can barely turn.
You remember that song? I can ride my bike with no handlebars.
Oh my God.
I learned how to ride when I was like a sophomore in high school because I was going to France and my teacher told me we were having to do a bike tour. And I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
I have to learn.
Now everyone's going to know that I, Melissa, cannot ride a bike.
So I like sort of learned, but then we ended up not doing that. We ended up doing a bus tour.
So you learned
so I was
for
like,
nothing.
cool, I don't have to ride anymore.
So you
and
learned
then I tried
for
to ride
nothing.
like a year ago, and it was bad, and I went into a ditch because I couldn't turn.
No, Melissa.
So don't put Melissa on a bike. Moral of the story.
We'll put her on one of those like 4 people bikes, and we'll put her in the back. So that way she doesn't have to do all of the work and doesn't have to turn.
Actually, when I went to France this most recent time, Dr. Fortner did offer that. He was like, you can ride on the back. I was like, no, I'm not a child.
So where did you sit? Did you sit in the middle?
I ended up not going on the bike ride. I went to Paris instead.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I don't do bikes.
I'm just saying that was a good time. That's like when we went to DC for a conference, and like the last full day we had, there wasn't really any presentations that interest me that day. So I like went and explored DC, and it was crazy. I saw the picture of that one picture of Obama.
The portrait
The
gallery.
Portrait, and
the
then
picture.
the painting, whatever.
The portrait gallery.
And then I saw the portrait of
Michelle.
Of Michelle. I personally like the Michelle painting more
I
so.
love the Michelle painting.
I like that.
I like
better
the
than
Michelle,
the
but I also
Obama
read an
one.
article
Oh Lord.
analyzing how like the Obama portrait was amazing because it didn't take on the toxic like masculinity. Like it showed him in a more effeminate side with the flower background and stuff. And that just made me appreciate
Oh, I
picture.
love it. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, no president would ever, you know?
Yeah.
My favorite thing too is that like about that whole museum when we went to was like there was like this modern art exhibit on the top floor.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing they had was like they had like the United States like outlined in like neon lights, and there were TVs inside of each one of them, and they played like commercials from like the 80s and 90s, and it was just really cool. It was just real cool, and I like took a video of it, and it's not on my current phone because my old phone kaputted, but it's on my Mac somewhere, I believe. But it just like it was just such a good time. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna go into this segment right now where I want to ask each of you just like a singular question, but I just want to know what have you been hating and liking this week. So who wants? Oh, Ashley's going for Melissa.
I'm going first.
Oh, I was gonna say I can go first if you need.
Oh,
a minute.
yeah. You go first.
I don't care. I can go first. I already have my two.
Oh, you already have it. Okay, go for it.
Okay, what I'm hating this week is Brett Kavanaugh.
Woo!
And what I'm loving this week is Advocates for Youth.
Yes, ma'am. Tell it. So, like, what was it like going to DC and like being a part of like a protest and stuff?
It was so amazing going with Advocates for Youth. Like, it's easy, especially living in like rural Louisiana, to get down and be like, nothing's ever going to change and the future's awful and blah, blah, blah. But then just being with all those young folk, and they were all so passionate.
Young folk.
Yeah, young folk. And it was all just so passionate about everything and ready to just take on the future. And everybody was so accepting, and it was the most supportive environment I've ever been in my life. So it just made me have hope in the future. Like, everything's not going to be terrible because these are the like next
Future.
leaders of our generation. So,
Right. I love that.
yeah,
Oh
it's
my
really
goodness.
exciting. We all still have like a group me. So we're all like,
The
oh,
one
my
that-
town's bringing me down. And it can be like, we love you.
When you were like, I just landed in Texas and it's awful.
Yeah.
It's so hot.
Exactly. A lot of us are from the South because they specifically like recruited Southerners
Just to
Because-
kind of like get their like, be like, yo.
because we're the ones that need change the most.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically Louisiana. They targeted us hard.
Yeah.
There was at least 9 of us from
Oh, wow.
Louisiana.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what frustrates too is that like I don't know. It just like I forever just don't understand like why we can't be ahead of the curve, why we're always behind it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, listen, we have John Bell Edwards. Like, if we're trying to like for real change anything, why is he not changing anything? You know.
I have lots to say on that, but I won't.
Sips
Oh,
tea.
I was like, we went from Bobby Jindal, who bankrupted Louisiana, to like John Bell Edwards, who like.
Can you believe I used to think Bobby Jindal was cool? Take that with what you
Wow.
will. I used to be a conservative too.
Oh my
Ooh.
gosh.
Yeah. Hardcore Republican right here.
I love how we're all like, wow.
Well, okay.
Can't relate.
So the first day of TNT, 3.
You
for
were
those
still
of you-
in that point? A
No,
conservative-
like
oh,
this
okay.
was last year.
For those of you who don't know, TNT is part of like the main course sequence we have in Scholars, where you read different books across like different academia fields,
Yeah.
and history, time periods. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, and Dr. Drum was like in class, and he was like,
Of course, it's Dr.
yeah,
Tom.
and he was
Of
like,
course.
the first day, you know how like teachers make you say a fun fact. He goes, I want you to say a fun fact, and it has to be so fun that it's not true. And when it
Oh,
came,
yeah, he did that.
yeah, and when he came to
I
me,
love
I
that.
so close was gonna be like, I'm a Republican, but I instead said that the movie Matilda was based off of my life.
Ooh, what a life.
For
Yeah.
avant-garde, I said like I had a large snake, and I like had a name for it, and that like I had this elaborate story about the snake, and he was like, "That's not true." And I pulled up that picture of
The
me with
picture,
the
the Britney Spears
yeah,
picture.
and his face was like, I was like, "I'm kidding, that was fake."
Oh my God.
That's not my
No,
snake.
you should have not like told him that. You should have totally let him believe the lie. That is you having a snake.
Yeah, and I was like, I sing a lullaby to it every night.
Oh my God.
Wraps around. It was
I'm-
an elaborate story.
I'm so dead. Please. I don't. Oh my God. People who have snakes as pets freak me out. They're like, I love my ball python. I'm like, it will eat you in your sleep. Like they eat
It'll
whole.
constrict you.
They will whole. They can eat whole wildebeest. You know,
It
like
happens.
that's wild. That is so wild to me. Snakes are creepy.
All right,
Oh.
y'all have to answer the question now.
Oh, okay.
We're getting off track
Oh, my bad. Sorry. But no, okay. So the thing I have been hating this week is my is my inability to do schoolwork. 'Cause
Mood.
And the thing I have been loving this week is American Horror Story
Yeah.
Cult.
Yeah. Wait, Colt?
Yeah, it's on Netflix now.
No, it's not.
It is.
That was quick.
That was really quick. Usually it's not till
Yeah.
November.
Yeah.
It must be horrible if it got on that quick.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm
like-
on Apocalypse.
I'm on. Oh my god! Wait. Like it's out. Apocalypse is out.
It's on DVR.
Oh,
Like,
I haven't watched it yet. No
Well, if you want to
spoilers.
come to my house, you can use my
Oh
DVR.
my god, we can have an AHS date.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
I have all 3 episodes. Like I saved them
There are
specifically.
3 episodes.
Yeah,
already?
yeah. It's been 3 weeks, and I saved them specifically, hoping like someone would be like, "I haven't seen it," and I'd be like, "Come to my house and spend time with me."
Ashley, you knew. Ashley, you knew.
I know in my
How
heart.
she lures people to her home.
Yeah, I was like, "Please, if anyone needs DVR, just tell me what you want DVR, and you can come to my house and
Oh
watch
my
it."
god, I love you so much. But for real, I'm going to. Yeah, but Cold is on Netflix.
Oh,
now.
okay. Well, I'm gonna have to watch it this weekend.
No, yeah, and it's like so wild because like it's like based around like the election and stuff. My only concern is the way that they portray Republicans and like Democrats in it, because they make Democrats in like a like pedestal, and they make Republicans be like, I don't know, they make Republicans just like real like demonic and like really demonize them. And I'm like, can we not? Like, this is what happened. This is what causes tensions between
The
like,
two-party system
political
is
parties.
corrupt.
No, I mean, it's just it like so frustrates me because like people will like argue about it, and I'm like, why can't we like be mad about like other things? You know what I mean? Let's be mad about how like some people like pineapple on their pizza and some don't.
Well, okay.
I like pineapple on my pizza.
And
you know.
I gotta go.
Oh,
I'm just
well,
kidding.
I
I just don't think vegetables and fruit need to be on pizza unless
Tomato is fruit.
just
Okay, you know what? Good point.
good point.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's hear after that.
Yeah, right.
What do you got now?
But no, I just
That's
I
what I
just don't. But no, it's really I actually really enjoy it because like the first couple of episodes have been like really creepy. Like,
See, I watched the
actually
first
creepy.
episode, but I fell asleep. But
that
was probably when I was like, it was when it first came out on the TV, and then I was like, you know what,
on the television.
on the television, and I didn't have DVR at the time, so I was like, you know what, I went to Allison's house. I
I'll
was
miss
like,
it.
I'll miss it. I'll wait till it comes out on Netflix.
It's like it really isn't like at least 4 episodes in. It's not bad. I actually really like it, especially like when we are coming from like Hotel and like Roanoke, which have both been
I never
like
saw either of them. I never even finished Coven.
Hotel is very
What?
the way
Which one's your favorite?
mine.
Yeah.
I love Asylum.
Okay.
Okay,
My
really-
best friend
I
really
liked
likes
Asylum.
Asylum.
But the end, like,
But the end with
It
the
is bad.
aliens,
Kinda
I'm
dumb.
sorry,
The end is
spoiler.
bad.
It's been out for a while. Get over it. The aliens, pointless.
yeah,
really
that was.
is.
You know what? I had a lot of faith in Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk,
Yeah.
but they really took it down a notch there.
They
Yeah, I feel like they couldn't figure out how to like explain why that guy wasn't the murderer. Like they couldn't explain all the things, so they were like,
alien.
they just
Yeah,
it was
and-
lazy writing. They were just
Yeah,
like,
I feel like they were
aliens.
like they
Aliens
put
solve
their hand too
everything.
many in too many pots. Is that a saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
but like the-
And as a person
everything-
who loves aliens, saying that like that's a dumb subplot, that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have a
you guys-
tattoo of an alien?
Yeah, I
yeah,
do.
she
That's
does.
right.
So
She-
like as
she
a
has, like,
person with an alien tattoo,
Oh, you're
that
an expert.
alien
like,
was lazy
numerous-
writing.
She has like numerous clothing that have aliens on it. It's great.
Yes.
But it just frustrates, like that frustrated me. I really like Murder House. Coven to me just felt very like teen oriented.
I did not like Coven. That one.
See, I really Coven's like
like
my. I'm gonna
I
say
only
Coven's my
liked-
favorite.
I only like Sarah Paulson and
Yeah.
that one woman, the Carrot Top woman who.
Oh,
like,
Myrtle,
that's the only way I can
Moana. No, not Moana.
Moana.
No, it's like Myrtle or something.
Myrtle,
yeah.
yeah.
Not
My
Moana.
favorite scene is when they like took the melon ball and scooped up the eyes.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's crazy. Also, when she played a theremin, is that what it's called?
I
A
don't know, but-
theremin? the little instrument that she used, and she just used her hands and stuff.
I didn't finish.
She's
No,
hey, you know they're on.
I thought that was fake. I thought that was fake. And then I found out that it's like real. Like a theremin is real. Hold on. Let me you guys keep talking. But,
They're
like,
she's on Apocalypse. She came
Oh
back.
yeah, because they like
Yeah. They're
'cause-
combining Murder House and Coven.
yeah, which is crazy.
I wonder if Queenie's coming back to life. I hope so.
See, like, this is what a theremin looks like. She has, like, her hand over, like, there's, like, this magnetic, like, both, like,
Yeah.
the metal part and the ends are, like, magnets or something.
Yeah.
And, like, it reacts to, like, the way you twist your hand and
Oh,
how
yeah,
high.
I've seen that.
It's wild. I thought it was fake, and then I searched it, and I
Fake
was like,
news.
this is real. I'm, like, very, like, shocked at what this is. I was like, this is science and music coming together. This is, like,
Beautiful.
wild. And so...
It's like aliens.
yeah. I mean, no, but kind of.
Yeah.
Science and music coming together equal aliens. Who would have thought?
Who would've thunk?
So, but Coven, I liked from like a teen aspect. I just loved Sarah Paulson's character, and like I liked the aesthetic. I liked the aesthetic of Coven with like the black and like
Yeah.
the. Really,
I like that it's in New Orleans. I think that's might be like why it's part of my
I did
Yeah.
like that it was in New Orleans, and like when they would walk around, I could recognize places. That
Yeah.
was cool, but otherwise, I didn't really like it.
But Hotel, pretty cool. I'm gonna say that.
Hotel to
I
me
didn't
just
watch
is
Hotel.
to me is just like it's just very much like an art film.
Can we agree that Roanoke's the worst?
Oh, very much so.
Never
The,
seen it.
the concept is so dumb. So, like, the first half of the show, it's, like, done like a mockumentary. You know those, like, shows on Discovery Channel that are about, like,
I
hauntings?
love those.
And they're, like, they'll interview the people about, like, what happened, but then they'll have these, like, dramatic reinterpretations of
Yeah.
them that are just awful. It's basically
Like
that.
Forensic Files.
Yeah, it's basically like that about this house, which is, like, on the land of, like, the Roanoke city or village or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Settlement, and where they're just like a bunch of crazy stuff happens, and then like halfway through the show, like the actors and then the real people come and they have like a press thing and they're like, what's like the next one? We want like a second season. So the second season is where they put the actors and the real people in the house, and like everyone obviously dies because that's just how every
I don't even remember the end to Roanoke. I just remember that it was super anticlimactic.
Oh no, it was so boring. It was so boring. Everyone dies. I didn't like that one. I really didn't like Freak Show just because I was like, wow, let's just continuously kill off everyone like for no
I like
reason.
Freak Show.
For no reason.
The best part of Freak Show was Pepper's story.
I know Pepper's story is so sad. No, like it's just so sad, and I loved it so much. And then they had like but then like Cold is really cool just because like it all centers around this lesbian couple, Allie and Ivy, and their son, and then it revolves around like the quote unquote cult leader Kai, who is like Evan Peters' character. And
What's the obsession with Evan Peters?
I think he's really like attractive.
I
but,
think
like,
he's
also,
like a good actor.
yeah,
But I think that like people just make him out to be like,
a god.
yeah, and like he's super attractive, and like I'm like that kind of takes away his acting from his acting ability, kind of.
Which
thing.
is real, like this one in particular. Like,
Does anyone remember when he was in that movie Sleepover from the early 2000s? Y'all don't remember that movie?
no.
This is where like the one girl's best friend is moving away and they're like graduating 8th grade or something like that. And so they have like a scavenger hunt and he plays like this really big dork in it. He's like the dorky guy that they don't like.
Oh, that sounds so cute.
Y'all
I'm
should
gonna watch
watch
it.
it. For
That's-
one, amazing movie. For two, it's a completely different side of Evan Peters. It's
Versus
hilarious.
him being like some dark
Yeah,
character.
I didn't realize it was him till I was watching AHS for like a while, and then I was like, why does he seem so familiar?
No, it's just crazy because like it's just not bad, and Kai is like so compelling as a character, and he like gets all these people to like follow him and stuff. He like there's this book I read where
Do I gotta say my favorite thing?
you will
Okay.
we'll if we go a few minutes over. I
Okay,
don't
I'll
care.
be fine.
They'll be
Okay.
okay.
Just checking.
Yeah, right. But no, there's like this book I read where like the villain, like the way he like made people like follow him is like he would like touch their shoulder, like physically touch them, and like basically he told them that like the laws of society don't apply, so they can do like whatever they want, and so he would use these people to do like really terrible things, which is crazy. Like it's so interesting that like for me it was interesting as a kid because I was like there are like these subconscious rules and I don't really like recognize them until like you really
Yeah.
think about it.
You read Plato.
Yeah, honestly, honestly. Okay, so Ashley, tell us what are the things you've been loving and hating this week.
Well, hating was also Brett Kavanaugh I should.
And this physics test.
But yeah, I was like, but Melissa already took it, so is physics, and I just don't like science, and I think that I will never use science in my life. Like, I'm done with science.
Retweet.
I like. Oh, I'm already done with school. Like,
I
just
care about the Pythagorean theorem.
Exactly.
And for like mass divided by volume
Yeah.
equals density.
And so like, and it's nothing against my professor. So if you're listening to this, it's nothing against you. It's just against science as a whole.
The topic, like the
Like,
field.
So I like almost every time I turn in a test, it's my second exam already, and I like already want to be like tears are streaming down my face and just be like, I'm so sorry. Let me grade this for you.
Retweet.
Yeah. What have I been loving? I had something.
You had like so long.
Yeah, I know. I know. I've honestly, I've been loving myself first of all, because I always do.
Yes, ma'am.
And then I got new bedding, y'all.
Ooh.
So like I've been loving myself well enough to take care of myself and make my life better step by step.
Heck yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like small steps. So like
I support that.
I got a trainer. I went.
Yeah.
And then
how is that going?
It's good. She's super cool. She's super sweet. She like we rode the bicycle yesterday, and that was very bad for me.
Oh.
I did not like it. My butt is uncomfortable.
Right.
And then but we do like an hour of workout. So
I just think how nice your butt's gonna look.
Yeah.
I would get a trainer, but I don't want like a nice, attractive, muscled man trying to teach me. The complete opposite of that to get like him, because I also am like, I am gay, and I don't know how I will react when a hot man is like working out in front of me, you know? So I would prefer not to have that awkward
trainer.
I mean, I could.
That's what I did. She asked woman or man, and I chose woman.
Yeah, I would.
Because I don't trust men. But that's a whole thing. I have a whole problem with that. We're working on that.
Right. I was like, we don't have the time.
Yeah, I go to a counselor for that issue, not the radio show.
A mood. A mood. But no, okay, so you've been like loving yourself.
Yeah, so
tell us about this bedding. I'm curious.
Okay, no, so y'all, I went to Target and they have Opal House brand, and I will sponsor Opal House right now.
Ooh.
Opal House, if you're listening, I love you.
Give us PR.
And like, so
give me money.
I went there and I found a pillow, and it was like a maroon yellow, mustard yellow pillow, and I said, I want this. So I just bought like 6 or 9 throw pillows.
Oh.
And then I found bedding to match, and then I found sheets, and I spent like $160. But you know what? It was worth it. Wow. And that's what I've been loving this week, because I finally got my bedding up.
You bought 9 of them.
6 to 9. I think it might be 6.
That's wild.
That's a lot of pillows.
That is a lot of pillows.
Yeah, so like
are you gonna like suffocate yourself?
Yeah, I have a full size bed, and the pillows come to right about halfway in my bed, and it's amazing. I don't sleep with them. They're just there for decoration.
What is the point?
I've never understood the point of those. I hate that.
I love them. They're so pretty. They're so cute.
What is the point? Like,
I just hate having to throw pillows off my bed. And then there's just
but you also don't make your bed, Melissa.
It's true. So then my room just looks messy.
Yeah, well.
Because there are pillows everywhere.
I'm mood.
My room, I like making my bed. It's fun.
Right.
Can't really.
Fair enough. I like making it in the sense of like, I'm going to readjust my like comforter. And
Can't
that's
relate at all.
Melissa has like the most luxurious bed though. Like,
Yeah,
it looks so soft.
I laid on it, and the comforter is so heavy that I almost bought the exact same one.
It's so
But
good.
then they didn't have like it on Bed Bath & Beyond, and I couldn't find it. And then I found Opal House. So, but her bedding is heavy.
It is.
Like, it's
it
heavy.
is.
And my bedding is like that new.
I can do that because I'm such a hot person when I sleep. I would
same.
sweat so bad.
So I have a large fan blowing on me.
Oh, same.
High blast.
But my bedding is like that crinkly hotel kind of bedding, you know?
Sure.
That's nice.
That is nice.
Yeah. And like the sheets, that's how the sheets are. And they're not super soft, so I'm about it. Because
Yes,
I get in
ma'am.
and I hear the crinkling, and it's
Ooh,
nice.
satisfying.
Now I want to go to bed. I didn't make my bed this morning.
I've been wanting to go to bed since like I woke up.
Yeah, especially since I didn't get enough caffeine today.
Yeah.
Coffee tasted disgusting.
Yeah, I don't like. That's what I'm hating. Coconut milk.
Yeah, coconut milk.
Oh.
It tastes
Coconut
like
anything.
soured milk.
Coconut
Hey,
milk.
coconut cake
water.
is not bad.
I don't like coconut.
I love.
I
good
like coconut
cake.
only in German chocolate cake, pretty much.
So.
And like a
but-
nice virgin pina colada.
Ooh.
But virgin.
Virgin.
Yeah.
Ooh. Who doesn't love a good virgin pina colada? But sadly, we have run the course of
Wow.
our time.
Wow, we should do this again sometime.
I know. I love you both so much. Thank you
Thanks.
seriously
Love
both
you.
for coming. So a couple of things I want to talk about before we go off air. KNWD, we have the Attack of the Bands. It is on October 11th, which we're going to find out what day that is. That is
A Thursday.
That is a Thursday.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Woo!
It's a Thursday, and it's from 5 to 9 at the Columns at Normal Hill, where, like, we've had some of, like, the little, like, shows and stuff. There's going to be, obviously, like, a band competition. And then there's going to be, like, pumpkin carving and a costume contest. Like, it's going to be a good old time. And also, I want to give a huge shout out to all of my wonderful theater and creative performing arts friends who are helping with Spring Awakening. I'm going tonight, and I've heard nothing but good things. Like,
They're playing next week, huh?
They're playing next week.
I have to go next week.
Yeah, I've heard such great things. I will say that there are triggers, and if you have epilepsy, it would be the best that you don't go, because there are some flashing lights and stuff. Because just like the topic of Spring Awakening itself is very like triggering, because there's like certain things that happen. But I've heard nothing but good things, and I'm really excited to go and see. And yeah. Thank you all for listening. Again, thank you to Melissa and Ashley for joining me on this wild ride of a show.
Woo!
And
Make sure you turn in at 2.
Yeah.
Tune in.
Yeah, tune in to 2 for Ashley and Kaylee with the Twisted Sisters. Yes, ma'am. And so with that, you guys can catch me next week from 11 to 12 on 91.7 KNWD. The Demon. So yeah, thank y'all. Bye.
Bye.